Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Thank you very, very much for being here. To all of my American viewers and subscribers, happy Thanksgiving. You probably heard this already, but there will not be a Pendulum Friday tomorrow because it's a Thanksgiving weekend, and I just, want people to be able to enjoy that. Um, but the questions that you have asked um, last week and this week are all going to be compilated, put together, and we are going to do a mega Pendulum Friday next Friday. So don't hesitate to send in your questions. They will be included. Okay, they're not going to get lost in the shuffle because the amazing Joyce is on it. Okay. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of the support. As I said in yesterday's video about Joe Manchin, I want to take a look at Matt Gaetz. Now, part of the reason I want to take a look at Matt Gaetz is because McCarthy has started to say that part of the reason that Matt Gaetz wanted McCarthy out of the speaker chair was because McCarthy was not prepared to kibosh the ethics investigation that is going on against Matt Gaetz. And so part of his motivation was to get sort of either punish Kevin because he wouldn't stop that investigation, or get a speaker in there who would be more inclined to stop the investigation. I mean, certainly and allegedly, if Jim Jordan had got in there, he would have been very quick, I would think, to stop investigations because Jim Jordan doesn't want any investigations going on around him either. You know what McCarthy is saying is not actually that, out of left field. So let's just take a look. And honestly, like Matt Gaetz is just at the bottom of the troublemaking issue, right? I mean, he is sort of one of those, or the person who really, with Marjorie Taylor Greene, is really revving up the hardliners in the Republican Party. He is the one who demanded and insisted that there be one person, just one person, who could get rid of the speaker. Um, and he's then the one who got rid of the speaker. So, what's his story? Like, honestly, what is his story? There was sort of the scandals around, underage girls, et cetera, et cetera. Um, that kind of died away, right? There was a police investigation, if I'm not mistaken. It just sort of went away. Um, the other thing that stands out, and I don't know who said it, but when this whole thing was going on with McCarthy and the speakership, when Matt Gaetz was, keeping everything stirred up, one of the Republicans said, watch out because Matt Gaetz is going to be Hawthorned. All right. So let's remember who Cawthorn was. He was the guy that announced that he had been invited to cocaine fueled parties by some of his cohorts. And it took not very long at all for him to vanish. He was just gone, okay? Because again, there are some things there's quiet things that you're just not supposed to say out loud. Apparently, that's one of them. But I haven't seen that happening yet. So let's take a look at Mr. Gaetz and see what his story is, shall we? Tell me about Matt Gaetz. Tell me about Matt Gaetz. Tell me about Matt Gaetz. Let's start with the Six of Pentacles, okay? So, quid pro quo, right? Um, he, first of all, it feels very much like he has a significant amount of power and money behind him. So, I'm not real savvy to Florida politics, but if I remember correctly, his dad was a politician or had a position of power, and so, and I understand that the family in and of itself is quite wealthy. So the energy around Matt Gaetz is entitled. All right. He is that, poor rich boy who kind of gets into trouble and it gets covered up and daddy makes it go away. Um, and he gets to just kind of live this crazy life because he's never held to account. And so one of the things he wanted to do is he thought it'd be kind of fun to be a politician. So off he goes and he toodles off and he becomes a representative of the House for Florida, whatever district he is in. Well, but he continues to be an entitled boy and does what he does. So then there was trouble. And then there was a very big push to quietly make that trouble go away. But the ethics complaint has not gone away yet. So Matt Gaetz has been very quiet in that arena of his life. Where he has not been quiet is in the House in terms of speakers. He has been the loudest voice screaming about McCarthy. I'm not sure what's happening there with the budget, but don't expect that Mike Johnson guy to be around very long, all right? Because he's going to do something that Matt Gaetz isn't going to like, and Matt Gaetz understands the power of distraction. He understands that if people are looking at you for one thing that doesn't um, reflect well on you, that you have two options. Either you can kind of quietly go away and hope that you know, the news cycle changes and you're not looked at anymore, or you can start screaming and yelling about something else and create a distraction so that even though you're kind of in the center of it, one, you aren't, the distraction isn't about you, and two, you're making enough noise that the other thing sort of dissipates. And you know what? I got to say, it's kind of effective. I mean, I'm sure at one point I knew that there was an ethics investigation going on around about him, but that wasn't something that was sort of in my consciousness lately, because when I think of Matt Gaetz, I think of that guy on the House floor yelling and screaming and, trying to get rid of everybody he doesn't like and, trying to present himself as very polished and yet like that. So the reality with Matt Gaetz, though, is that he doesn't plan on being a politician for very long. It very much feels like he views um, sort of the political arena really as a stepping stone. He views it as um, a way to get really good name recognition. And that's part of the reason that he's not quiet, right? He's about name recognition. He's about being on TV. He's about giving interviews. He's about saying stuff and talking and yakking and always being in front of the cameras. But he doesn't see it as like an end goal. And I don't see that he sees politics as an end goal, right? Like, so what I'm saying is, I'm not getting that he has aspirations, for example, to become a senator, right? Or even laughingly a president. Um, that's not his energy, because part of the problem is that Matt Gaetz doesn't want to let go of the Matt Gaetz lifestyle. Now, I understand he's gotten married, and I guess perhaps congratulations may be in order. he doesn't want to necessarily stop being the entitled bad boy. And so you have an energy around him that is kind of like, well, I want to play and I want to be respected. And sometimes those two things just don't mesh very well. But it's a funny thing about Matt Gate. It doesn't seem to matter what's coming at him. He has a way of sort of deflecting it, or kind of moving past it, and getting away with. And again, whether that's because family members or people in power just sort of make it go away, or he just causes enough of a ruckus that you stop paying attention to what he doesn't want you paying attention to. So he has an agenda. Now, all politicians have agendas, but his agenda really seems to be this is the thing. Matt Gaetz, in some ways, is a lot like Trump in that his entire focus is inward. His entire focus is what I want, what I deserve, what I'm entitled to, what I'm going to get. He doesn't have virtually any energy that talks about what I can do, who I can help, how I can make significant changes. No, it's just about how do I look, who's paying attention to me, um, you know, how do I uh, create a 2-minute sound bite that's going to get me on all the channels? That's his entire focus. And I know that there was a lot of chatter about the fact that he wanted to end up, on TV. He wanted to be like a Fox News anchor or something. I have to tell you, um, he had that happen, and it may still on another channel or network or um, venue. But he would end up being sort of like a Tucker Carlson or a who's the other guy that was around Tucker. It doesn't matter. You know who I'm talking about. In that, he's not talking about the news. He's talking about his interpretation of the news and how he feels about it. Because he would be really, really hard pressed to step away from anything that wasn't a reflection of him and what he wanted and the attention he wants coming at him. I don't know, man. He's got the 9 of cups. He has the 10 of cups. So even though he has the 10 of swords, and even though there is stuff that kind of comes at him, he really does seem to have this superpower of being able to dodge it. Now, there's going to be continued noise around him, continued communications, publicity, sound bites. There's going to be continuing talk about him because he is going to continue to put himself out there. I don't see, I don't even know if he's being primaried. I don't know if there's a Democrat running in his district. But it does feel like the upcoming election for him um, is going to prove like sort of problematic. I think it's not going to be as smooth sailing as he thinks it will be. I kind of get the impression that he really doesn't even feel like he needs to kind of put himself out there because people are just going to vote for him because he has an R behind his name. He has name recognition. And a lot of people love Trump. And man, so does he. And so, friend of my friend is my friend, right? but it feels as if there's going to be some disappointment that he's going to experience. Now, I can't tell you that he's not going to win because I think he will, but it feels like he doesn't win with the numbers he expects. So even if um, even if he doesn't have a Democratic challenger, even Republicans are not going to vote for him in the numbers and in the volume that he has previously enjoyed. It very much feels like there's going to be some sort of a disappointment around his run for reelection. Unfortunately, I have to tell you, I mean, look at, he's got the King of Wands, he has the King of Cups, he has the Three of Cups, and he has the Ace of Cups. You know, this is not energy about somebody who is going to lose anytime soon. But there's going to come time where he is going to not do so well. There's going to come a time where his energy is not going to be well received. But for the people of Florida who are in his district and the people in Florida writ large, I can't tell you he's not going to win. I think he is. And between now and then, he will continue to be that yakking mouthpiece that he is. He will continue to support Trump until Trump is sort of no more, should that happen. But then he would lead a movement. I'm not saying he would be the leader of it, but he would lead a movement, much like he leads the House to get rid of speakers, to kind of keep that extreme political view alive. So honestly, he is dangerous, and he is. Um, he has the knowledge. I'll say it that way. Um, he knows enough about politics and how politics work that he knows how to sidestep the pitfalls and the dangers. So that's what I know about Matt Gaetz. Sorry, like this is a really crappy, kind of depressing for Thanksgiving. But you know what? Let's be grateful and always remember that karma will always come back and that no one is exempt from karma. And let us also remember that karma seems to be circling around much faster than it used to. So there's that. And it could be wrong. He might be just flushed down the drain. Who knows? Okay. Happy Thanksgiving for those who are celebrating today. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for being here. I look forward to seeing you next week for my regular videos. And of course, the Pendulum Friday will be next Friday, and we're going to have all the questions. All right. Thank you very, very, very much for being here. Enjoy the holiday. For the rest of us, enjoy the weekend. Hopefully, you have something lovely planned or plan on, having some quiet time, whatever works for you. All right. Take care. Be well. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.